Losey. I'm not here to really talk so much about bike safety today, because I'm here to talk to you about that biking should be fun. Biking can also be a good way to get exercise and stay in shape, and that, especially here in the Spring Lake area with all the bike paths that we have, biking is a great way to get where you want to go. There's all sorts of ways to have fun on bikes. There's all sorts of bikes to have fun on. There's BMX bikes, dirt bikes, with skate parks. There's mountain bikes for the trails and for the bike paths. There's road bikes. You'll see groups of people out on the road in packs riding down the roads. There's tandem bikes where two people can ride on the same bike. And there's race bikes. This particular bike right here is my bike. I ride for fun, but I also race my bike. I'm an Ironman triathlete. I race an Ironman, which is a 2.4 mile swim, a 112 mile bike, and a 26.2 mile run. So I ride my bike a lot. I ride my bike anywhere from 4 to 5 times a week, and I have rode that bike in the last 2 summers. I've rode that bike 6,000 miles, which is equivalent to riding from New York all the way across the United States to California, turning around, and going back to New York. So I spend a lot of time on my bike. I ride my bike mostly for exercise. It's a great way to stay in shape. It's a great way to stay healthy. I started riding the bike as a kid, and one of the best things about riding a bike is that you can keep riding and you can stay fit and healthy all throughout your life. But riding a bike isn't just for exercise and to stay in shape. Biking should be a lot of fun. We ride as a family at my house. There's a lot of places that we go, and again, especially here in Spring Lake, it's a great community with all the bike paths. You can ride to the beach, you can ride to the ice cream store, you can ride just about anywhere you want in Spring Lake, and you can stay on a bike path. I also ride with friends a lot. A lot of the times when we train, we also ride together. It's a great way to spend time with friends. It's a great way to go and see things and do things. Bike is a great way to get out and about. One of the best things for me is a bike gets me off the couch, away from the TV and the video games, and gets me out to see things. I rode my bike all over. I rode through the mountains. I rode along the oceans. I ride along Lake Michigan all the time. I rode my bike across the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. A bike is a means to get you to some beautiful and spectacular places in this country. So a bike doesn't just have to be for exercise, it can be for a lot of fun. But with all the riding I've done, I've never had an accident. In all the miles that I've rode, I have not had an accident because I do the things that Sergeant Toon who's just pointed out to you guys. I obey the rules of the road. I watch traffic, pay attention to what traffic is doing around me. When I come up to intersections, I never go through an intersection unless the traffic at that intersection is looking at me. If I can't get eye contact from a driver, I know he doesn't see me. That means that he's going to go through and I'm going to get hit. So I have to stop and I have to wait for that driver to make eye contact with me before I can cross through an intersection. I also always wear my helmet. The helmet that I showed you a minute ago, that was one that I wear to train. When I race, I wear what's called an aero helmet. More aerodynamic helmet to help me go faster. But I always wear a helmet. When I race, they will not let us race unless all the points that Sergeant Toon pointed out about the chin strap and the way the helmet is fit on your head, they will not let us on our bikes until we have all the helmets set up the correct way. But with all the rules and regulations, biking should be fun. It is something fun to do. You guys should get out on your bikes, explore, and have fun. Thanks, guys.
Hi, I'm Dr. Walters. I work in the emergency room in Grand Haven, Muskegon. Some of you here I know that I've seen in the emergency room for various things. Some of you maybe even for some bike or skateboard accidents. I have 3 kids here in school in Spring Lake, and wearing a helmet and having fun outdoors safely is a big thing at our house. My kids can tell you the rule around our house is if I catch any of them on a bike, a scooter, a skateboard, anything on pavement with wheels, and they're not wearing a helmet, I get to take whatever it is and I decide when I'm going to give it back. It's that important to me because I see what happens when you don't wear a helmet. You know, I enjoy a lot of time on the bike, not nearly the thousands of miles that Mr. Losey does, but I spent a lot of time on the bike as an adult. I've never crashed as an adult, but by the time I graduated from high school, I was hit by a car twice on my bike. Luckily, there was no lasting damage. One time I did hit my head. Things turned out okay, but that was back before we had helmets. Nobody had helmets when I was a kid. This is a big thing that has changed safety riding a bike, that you guys have the opportunity to wear a helmet. I know some of you wear them all the time. I'll bet there's some of you that wear them only occasionally, when you think you might need them, or when you're on a long ride, or when you're away from your house. But I'll tell you, the time that you're going to hit your head, the time that you're going to get injured, is going to be right around your neighborhood, right around your house, when you think that nothing's going to happen. So it's kind of like a seatbelt. Either you have to wear it all the time, or if you pick the time you think you'll need it, you're going to be wrong. What we're going to show you here in a little bit is a video of why it's so important to wear your helmet. If you ride a bike long enough, especially as a kid, you are going to crash. Hopefully you'll never get hit by a car, but you are going to crash. You're going to get scrapes and bruises, maybe a broken bone. Those all heal very well. Your brain does not heal well. If you hit your head without a helmet and bruise your brain or injure your brain, it takes a lot longer to recover, or sometimes you don't ever get back to being how you were. And that's what we want to try to avoid. So what we're going to do is watch a video that shows a kid that was hit on a bike, probably about the age of most of you here, and how important it was that he had that helmet on. And then afterward, we're going to do something a little more fun. We're going to do a demonstration of what a helmet will actually do for your head. And rather than me drone on about all the bad things I see in the emergency room, we're just going to show you how helmets work. But first of all, we'll watch the video. You'll also see why it's so important that when your parents tell you to wear a helmet, that you wear one. We're not saying it to give you grief. We're not trying to make your life difficult, but we're really worried that you could get hurt. And you'll see from the mom in the video how concerned she is and how happy she was that her son wore a helmet. And if you all do that, you'll have a lot of fun on your bike. You'll have a lot of safe days and hours and years riding your bike without anything bad happening. So we'll watch the video, and then we'll show you a little bit more about helmets after this.
My name is Phyllis King, and I'm the mother of 3 children. Daniel's the middle child. He's 11, and he's a 6th grader. It was a Tuesday afternoon. Daniel had been over at his friend's house, and he knew it was getting close to the time he had to be home for dinner. He had left his friend Dallas's house on his bike and was coming down the short hillside from his friend's house to sort of a T intersection. And the cars frequently park on both sides of the road, so it makes it very difficult to see either for drivers or for little kids walking or riding their bikes across the street. He stopped his bike and he took his hands off the brakes and started to go through the intersection again. Daniel hit the quarter panel just above the passenger side front wheel, hit it with his lower right leg, flew up in the air, hit his head on the passenger side windshield, and bounced back off the windshield and landed back on the right side of the car. him lying face up in the road. When I saw him there on the ground, he didn't look like the 10-year-old boy that had ridden his bike out there a couple hours earlier. He looked very small. Very small. Very small.
Give it another try. If not, I'll tell you the ending. We'll see if we can get it to work.
Daniel hit the quarter panel just above the passenger side front wheel. Hit it with his lower right leg, flew up in the air, hit his head on the passenger side of the windshield, and bounced back off the windshield and moved back on the right side of the car. I found him lying face up in the road. When I saw him there on the ground, he didn't look like the 10-year-old boy that had ridden his bike out there a couple hours earlier. He was very small and very much like a little kid who was scared about what was happening to him and didn't want to panic. Daniel's sneakers had flown off during the impact. His bike, the back end looked like it hadn't been touched, but the entire front end, from where it had gone over the handlebars, was just a big crumpled mess. And it looked like a bowling ball size crack in the passenger side of the windshield. They kept him in the emergency room from 5 o'clock that night till after midnight. He couldn't move, but they determined that the only major injury was the shin bone that he had broken on his right leg, where it had come through the skin and had to be surgically repaired the next day. He came home 2 days after the accident. I looked at him and I realized that if he hadn't been wearing that helmet, not only would he not be in the condition that he was in, but it was so close to him not having even survived it that I left the room at that point. I couldn't take it. Make your child wear a helmet every time they ride. The one time they don't wear it could be the time they get hit. He wants to live his life to the fullest, and he wants to do great things, and has no doubt that he will, and that he's going to make a difference in somebody's life.